Welcome back to BeTerrific's live continuing coverage from CE Week 2016 in New York City at the Metropolitan Pavilion. I am your host, Jason Aaron, for today, sitting in for Michael Artsis. And we are so proud to be sitting here with Epson, one of the biggest names in, everything. But today, we're not talking about printing, which, of course, a lot of our viewers know Epson for. We're talking about projectors and how you consume your media, how you watch stuff. And before we jump into what you guys are offering, which you already told me, and I'm so excited to give out to you guys, projectors are an interesting thing because back in the day, if you wanted to go bigger, TVs weren't very big. They weren't very large, and they certainly were not remotely portable. So in a school setting or a business meeting or whatever, projectors were just the way to go when you needed size. But then the quality wasn't too good. But then the quality got better, but then it cost a ton of money. And then TVs got bigger. And then it got to the point where you couldn't even compare a 50-inch flat screen panel to a projector because the television was so much better. And now we just had the opportunity. We just came from Vegas. We were at Infocom. And turn right, there's a projector. Turn right again, there's another one. That sort of thing. So much technology, and the image quality has gotten so much better. What has Epson done? What are we talking about today? What are you guys bringing to market?
That's a great recap of what's happening in projectors. And so today what we're talking about is our new Pro Cinema line. We announced it yesterday at the show. It's 6040 and 4040 are two Pro Cinema models that are bringing 4K and HDR to a price point that is not currently available. Basically what we have is a unit that will accept a 4K UHD signal with HDR and display that content using our 4K enhanced pixel shift technology, which basically just takes a 1080p panel and shifts by half a pixel diagonally. The purists will argue that it's not true 4K. Our argument is, well, that may be so, but come into our booth, let us show you the difference, and we'll challenge you to tell us which projector is projecting 4K eHDR, which is ours, and which one is projecting native 4K with a panel that is 4K. I think, based on what we've seen in the last 2 days, and again, shootouts can always be played. We tried to make this as fair as possible. We invited some calibrators, world-class calibrators, to come in and calibrate to both projectors and let them do their stuff. And nobody can tell us, well, I should say there are very few people who can tell us which projector is which.
Well, I got a 50-50 shot at guessing anyway.
Well, right, exactly. But here's where rubber really hits the road. For $4,000 you can buy Epson's, or for $15,000 you can buy the competitive model. And if you can barely tell the difference and you want to spend another $10,000, $12,000 to say you've got 4K, go for it. But if you don't, then we give you an option 4KE at $4,000. Great opportunity.
So the two models, what are the price points?
So the two models are $39.99, so $4,000 for the premium unit, and then we have $26.99 for the Pro Cinema 4040. The difference is we have higher brightness and higher contrast resolution on the 6040.
Now, we're in the sort of 10 by 10 tent thing. I mean, how far do I want this projector away from my source? How big an image can it produce at its top quality?
Yeah, so great question. So in our demo room, we're probably about 10 to 12 feet away from the screen, which is on average what a living room setup generally is like, on average 8 to 10 feet. So it's a little bit bigger. And then the screen dimension is 138 inches, so it's like 10 and a half feet. So it's large. And I think that what really matters is when you're talking about resolution, you need to be talking big. Because if you're shooting it on a small screen, you're wasting resolution. So go big, and that's our story.
How big can I go with this type of projector?
300 inches diagonal.
Wow.
Max. Yeah.
And so you do lose a little bit of quality as you pull back?
Well, I would invite you to come and see how much quality you can tell at 138 inches because the differences are very, very hard to tell even at that size, which is still quite large.
That's an amazing price point.
Yeah,
who I guess is the target consumer for this?
I would say that there are the folks who've always wanted 4K but just didn't want to spend that kind of money. That's our target. It's a much bigger audience. It's folks who are interested in the high quality, but maybe aren't chasing sort of the bragging rights of, yeah, I've got 4K. It's folks who aren't necessarily beholden to that kind of specmanship.
And what's the future? And we opened with this, where projectors have come from and where they are now. What's the future? What do you think happens now with the displays and the projectors? What's the next 5-10 years look like?
Well, I think from Epson's point of view, displays serve, flat panels, they're great technology. They serve a lot of good uses. We're not necessarily saying projectors have to beat flat panels. What we're saying is you probably want both. There are certain situations where you want a flat panel, but you'll never get the size for the cost that you can get on a projector. And as you described, the evolution of projection technology has been steadily chipping away at it, and I think people need to take another look because they're probably thinking about back in the day, it was not worth it. Or they'll go into a bar. I was in a bar last night watching one of the games, and they were using a projector that was 10 years old, and it was like, that looks like crap, so that looks not so good, and so people are thinking, projector's not good. So see what projectors look like today, and what you saw at Infocom is resolution is up, brightness is up, and the cost is way down, just as you described. And that's natural technology evolution, and you're going to see more and more brighter projectors at lower and lower prices with higher and higher resolution now.
And if I'm already sold, I want to buy this. How can I? I know you announced it now. Is it available?
So we're going to be shipping in August. There is another lineup that is even less expensive. It's the home cinema lineup. It doesn't have some of the calibration features and some of the bundle options. It will be available in mass market retail, and those will be available in September. So you could yourself buy them at, I should say not mass market, but some of the higher end AV retailers that you could shop easily starting in September.
And I'm assuming just visit Epson.com for more details on all of it?
Yes, sir.
You got it here first. Epson, brand new projectors. Terrifics, it's fine. You can now have that 100-inch image that you wanted on your wall and not have to worry about a loss of quality. Stay tuned for more of that and more BeTerrific live from New York City at CE Week 2016. Stay tuned.